There are a lot of people who are scared about what Warren Buffett is doing right now because I've seen a few statements. Have you seen what Mark Zuckerberg is doing? What did you think of what Warren Buffett did with his stock portfolios? What does this mean for cryptocurrency? And I want to tell you guys why he's doing what he's doing and how this will affect XRP or the crypto market based on a number of different examples from the past. This is the first time Warren Buffett has done anything like this since 2007. So maybe we'll look at it as a sign of a possible recession. We know what XRP is and how it was affected by the last bear market. For those of you who don't know, it was really crazy. Okay, XRP dropped from more than $2 to about 30 cents a coin. It goes up and down. It used to cost $70,000 per coin, but now it only costs $16,000 per coin. It was crazy. It was you. Anyway, I think it's best not to ignore what Warren Buffett is doing at the moment. Now, before I talk about what's going on with Buffett, I'd like to make a point of saying that Warren Buffett has always increased the size of his cash pile a lot before the bull run stops. Be aware of this very important caveat before I show you what I'm about to do. You'll get it soon enough, but let's talk about all of that first. Also, before we start the video, I want to quickly let you know that BTCC, my partner exchange, is currently running a 50% deposit bonus draw. You can all enter to win this, plus another 10% deposit bonus is also available to all of you. Stay tuned for more information on these later. This is for new users and people who are already on the BTCC website. Having said that, let's talk about Warren Buffett. That's the reason you all came today. Berkshire Hathaway, which is owned by Warren Buffett, has revealed a record high cash balance of $381.7 billion. Last quarter, Buffett sold stock worth a profit of $6.1 billion. This basically means that he sold $6.1 billion worth of stock instead of buying it. He does this because he buys things and sells things when he thinks they are too expensive or too cheap. He is also going through a huge deal right now, which we will talk about for the 5th quarter in a row. A lot is happening here. Berkshire has stopped buying back its own stock. That's a really interesting and important point, mostly for his top interests. He's just cutting off a little bit of the top right now. This is a lot of money. This is something we need to pay attention to for sure. This means that when we look at the real numbers and ask what portion of his Berkshire stock has he actually sold, it's a good amount. As a result, he has sold about 2/3 of all the Apple stock he owned since the stock's all-time high. This is a huge amount. He does think that some companies are way too expensive, and the way he is acting makes it look like there might be a slump in 2026 to see how much has been cut so far this year. Look at these stats. It was worth $287 at the end of 2024, $258, and $257 in the first quarter of 2025, and $283 at the end of Q3. After that, you can see that both cash and equivalent have been going up a lot. $321 billion at the end of 2012, and all the way up to $387 billion at the end of Q3 2025, or September 30th. It's clear that these numbers we're just getting now are... It's important to note that $381 billion is a lot of money. We'll talk more about this number soon, but I wanted to get to the bottom of why Warren Buffett is actually increasing his cash on hand right now. Like, how does he think? In Warren Buffett's own words, he means that there aren't enough good investment chances that are priced fairly. Buffett has said many times that he will only put money into something when the odds are very much in Berkshire's favor. He's also saving money for other times when he needs it. To Buffett, cash is like a optionality award chest that can be used when the markets go down or there is a crisis. Basically, he's probably afraid that some kind of crisis will happen and send the market down sharply. The last time I can remember him doing this was right before the pandemic, when there was a huge drop in the market. After that drop, Buffett put all of his money into the stock market. He bought stocks like he had never bought them before, and the markets took off very quickly after that. In interviews, he has said very clearly that we want to be able to move decisively when other people are scared. You can do what you want with that. Warren Buffett, who has beaten the markets many times, thinks that there will be a big fear situation that will cause a lot of people to sell their stocks. Interesting, but that doesn't mean that this will happen tomorrow, the next day, or even in 2 or 3 months. That being said, it does mean that he thinks is likely to happen in the next year. No one knows for sure when in the next year, but he has the money ready, and we'll be watching what he does. He's big. He is, it's only one line. He put it this way: I'd rather sit on my cash and earn 5% than buy a great company at a fair price when the market offers great companies at fair prices, which doesn't exist right now. That seems pretty fair, doesn't it? There isn't a fair price for any company right now, he says. The markets need to correct. He's right, too. I mean, everything is way too expensive when you look at the price-earnings rates. Right now, even value stocks are way too expensive because the market has been going through a crazy rise, and this needs to change. It needs to be fixed before smart investors like Warren Buffett are ready to put all their money back into these markets. But this will happen. Corrections do happen. You know about XRP, like they have done before. Bitcoin prices will go through big drops. This will give us more room to get in and, of course, enjoy the good days when they come. But the sad thing is that most of you watching this video won't be buying on these red days. You'll be fear selling, which is just really bad. But yeah, I mean, if you look at the markets, you can see that we're definitely getting weaker, which is still a very scary trend. Prices of homes in the 20 biggest cities in the US went up 0.19% month over month in August, which is more than the 0.10% drop that was predicted. However, landlords aren't even keeping up with the cost of living right now. When the value of your home goes down against the dollar, you know the economy is in bad shape. You already know that spending has slowed down a lot. And yes, some places like New York or Chicago, they have gained a lot of weight. But these aren't all 20 of the biggest places, right? Most of the big towns are actually going downhill or barely making it, so there's more pain on the way, and you guys need to be ready for it, because if you're not, it won't be good. And even though the government is shut down, U.S. debt is still growing at a very fast rate. That's the U.S. government debt going up. It reached $602 billion in October 2025, which is a lot of money. This is especially funny because Warren Buffett's cash on hand isn't even enough to cover 1 month of government deficit spending, $602.38 trillion in debt, and the amount keeps going up. Take a look at this map of U.S. debt. It's going off. If you see this, you know that a kingdom is about to fall apart. Many Americans watching this video don't want to hear that, but listen up. If something isn't done about this debt problem, the United States will go through the same thing that every other big empire has gone through in the last 1,000 years. Take a look at the Roman Empire, the Dutch Empire, the English Empire, and all of these others. All of them began to fail when they couldn't keep up with their spending deficits. The British Empire had to sell all of their lands because of this. They had too many deaths to handle, so they had to give back all the countries they could no longer afford to keep up. Take a look at the Dutch Empire. They had to sell off their colonies and debts when they could no longer pay them off. Eventually, their currency stopped being used for foreign trade, and the next empire grew. And I can almost promise you that China will be the next power to rise. And I'd much rather have the US than China. There must be something that can be done about this. I hope Trump has a plan. As you can see, things aren't all bad. I really want to stress this because the markets do have a lot to look forward to. This week, China added 2 trillion yen to the money supply. To put it another way, China is suffering deflation, even though quantitative easing is at an all-time high. What's going on in China is really crazy. Right now, these guys have a lot of dry powder. These guys could do great things. But this economy is very strong. It's the second biggest in the world. It has the world's second strongest economy when buying power parity is taken into account, which many people say is a better way to measure an economy's size and strength. So if China prints this much money and the US stops quantitative tightening on December 1st, I want you to think about what the short-term prospects are for XRP and the crypto market. We already know that stocks, crypto, and all of these other things are linked. There will be more printing of money. Warren Buffett is right. Even if the market goes down a lot,